patch of old plaster that I need to repair. This is hard wall, so about 100 years old, this wall, and usually when this occurs, a single hole like this, it's either when a plug has failed or when you're stripping wallpaper and a plug has been left in, papered over, come along with your scraper, and as soon as you hit that, it's going to disturb the plaster around it. So my first job is just to clean this up, ready for the next stage. Just remove anything that wants to come away. Okay, now I just need to dust it off and get the vacuum on it just to remove any excess dust. Now because this backing plaster is so dry, it may need a couple of soaks with the PVA just so it thoroughly penetrates. Rinse the cloth, leave that to dry, and we're ready for the next stage. Ready for the next stage. If you're using backing plaster or a powder filler straight in this, allow this to dry fully and then wet in again with 3 parts water, 1 part PVA before you put your filler in. Just allow it to cure a little bit, only 5-10 minutes, then straight on with your filler. So now again, this is ready for what I want to do. So cloth, wet in again, not as much this time, just dampen it. So I've left this no time at all really. Enough time, put my gloves on, get my foam shook up and get a piece of paper ready. So now just remove that top and I can put some in, first starting with that hole down there. Just allow the foam to work in everywhere. It'll expand into all those small gaps. Just slightly wiping it onto those edges just to make sure it's fully bonded. Wipe that nozzle clean on the paper and then back into this one. Just again working behind the plaster into any areas. Just make sure that's again bonded to the side. And to help keep this clean, just wipe anything out. Replace the cap and we'll leave that to dry. As soon as this is cured, ready for cutting back, I'm going to dissect it across this way first. That is just when I cut it, it's less pressure. So a light sand, and I'm ready for filling. 160 grade. Make sure there's no foam proud. Light dust off, and just check with your blade, your filling knife, nothing protruding. Happy with that. Then damp cloth, PVA again, just lightly, that's enough. Got the filler mixed on the hawk, and just straight on with it, working it in. Onto the side, leave that where it is, go for some fresh. Again, clean the blade off, wipe with a damp cloth. Just leave that now, ready for another fill. Used up the remaining filler on the rest of the wall, and then what was left put on the board just to let it go hard enough to take another layer of filler. So it's not completely dry, but it will take the next layer now. Clean knife, clean board, and slightly thinner mix this time. Damp cloth, give that blade a good wipe. Just wipe around that, save a bit of sanding. Take that off. When this is dry, 180 sandpaper on a block, and rub this down, circular motion. Okay, that's nice and smooth. Now this will be dusty, so either wipe over with a damp cloth, or what I like to do is just go over with a vacuum. If it has a brush on the attachment, use the brush. Now that the wall is dust free, what I need to do is seal that filler. So in here, all I've got is mini roller, long pile, and I literally just dipped that in the tin of paint and just rolled it till it was full of paint. Popped it onto the roller tray and then put a small amount of water in there. You only need a small amount, but now I've got some paint there that's thin enough and I've not wasted too much, because what you don't want to do is contaminate your stock pot with any water. So don't be putting water into your tin of paint, because it soon turns, it'll soon go off. Now I can just prime this up. Basically the same idea as a mist coat. If you are only doing a patch, you want to be able to feather this off. Okay, just laying that off now, just removing any thicker edges, feather it right out. I'll leave this to dry and I can put a full coat on. Now for the full or neat coat. So again, with the roller, I just dipped into the paint, rolled it onto the tray, kept dipping it into the paint. I've got enough there now for what I want to do without pouring loads out. So work a bit of the paint off on the tray. Now I can start to apply. Lightly feathering off again. A bit more paint. Again, feathering that off. What hole? I'll leave that to dry and I will give it another coat. Final coat to go on. So literally just load the roller up, onto the tray, pushing it out, leaving that paint there, go for another dip. Leaving that paint in there. That's enough for what I need now. I can rub my roller out, get some on. This time, I'm just going to leave the paint slightly thicker where I've filled and just blend it in around with any bits. Perfect. Good job done.